Welcome back. Now let's look at an example of the information shown on each individual kit or project page, starting with project status. Data entry fields in project status should be editable, and the software should support the following basic functions. All data field names can be changed. Although most of this data can be pulled straight out of Demand Bridge, this is apparently problematic, and so the system is currently designed to support manual data entry into free flow text fields, the names for which can be changed to something relevant to the client and WebMason team. New fields can be added, existing fields can be deleted, and the fields can be renamed as necessary. And this approach should help make this tool adaptable to the management of any client's similar activity. Project status can be thought of as a summary. It lists client-defined, project-specific information with field names on the left and the data on the right. The names of the data field and their corresponding data are determined with the client during implementation. All fields can be free-flow manual entry instead of trying to pull data again from Demand Bridge, but should be standardized and governed by co-established business rules, which should be built into the system's functionality whenever possible. Surely, some of this info can be reliably pulled directly from Demand Bridge to automate the completion of some fields. However, we've been managing this information for years using only Excel, so as long as using the system can replace having to use something else manual, such as the current RPM project management system, so that it's at least a push and not more work. A lack of automation will be unfortunate, but not a showstopper. And this is one idea for how the project status might look. All very basic information that we eventually provide for each kit. On the left are the names of the data fields relating to the information required by us or the client. Data associated with these field names is in the center. And on the right are the two different status menus. Clients want to know the status of their projects, and they frequently need this information on demand. We previously handled the request manually via email, but now we're being told this activity will soon increase dramatically. And we need a system to provide status updates, which also helps us better manage the related processes. And this section refers to the kit sheet status only. This section refers to the production, fulfillment, and delivery of the items and the final kit itself. We initially create the Excel files we call kit sheets for Karen at her request. She emails us whatever details are available at the time, and we build the kit sheet based on the details she provides. We send a draft of the sheet to her for approval, but then many variables, such as unforeseen challenges obtaining construction permits, cause the overall process of opening a new retail store to change often and sometimes significantly. Typically, we begin receiving changes to the original kit sheet several days later, within a series of emails from Karen or Assistant K. The sheet is updated and resent for final approval, and this process can occur just once or occasionally half a dozen times or more, depending upon the project's complexity. This new system is designed to allow anyone with access to build a new kit or make changes to an existing kit as needed. Karen Villanueva, ECCA's Director of Field Marketing and Creative, agrees the best place to complete the data entry required for building and updating kit sheets is eventually there in her department where the information originates. But because all the related manual processes are very time-consuming, her staffing levels haven't supported this activity. And to be considered useful, the system we ultimately deliver should automate as many repetitive functions as possible to significantly reduce the overall amount of time required for managing this activity. And to be considered truly valuable, the system must also provide significant improvements to the ways we've been organizing information and performing the many related tasks. Although this technology has been designed with extensive flexibility, it is being developed specifically for ECCA because Karen is aware of the inefficiencies created by current methods of exchanging information. Many times, Karen has proven her sincere interest in partnering with us to get the job done by whatever means necessary. She remains committed to making improvements by shifting some of the manual processes, such as data entry, logically to her department where the details originate. Karen and her assistant Kay have also agreed to self-service some of their needs for information if we are able to deliver a system which makes the information readily available, as well as easily and quickly obtained. However, budget constraints will always prevent her from significantly increasing her staff, which means she will understandably need help completing many tasks, regardless of how effective this new system is, at increasing the efficiency and speed at which these daily tasks can be completed. Therefore, we should expect to continue providing many services, such as kit sheet data entry, which we recognize as a privilege and an opportunity for which we are grateful. And that was project status, which, remember, is mostly a summary. And now let's review the kit sheet. And this is one very large, gnarly Excel spreadsheet containing many groups of items, starting with banners, frame graphics, kid signs, mockbox items, frameboard items, accessory and pod items, HIPAA, clings, window signs, hardware, inventoried items, and some miscellaneous items such as installation instructions. And now let's look at the item section in more detail. All areas of the item section, or as many as possible to increase the tool's flexibility, need to be editable. We will require the ability to add, delete, and rename fields as needed. And the info doesn't obviously have to look like this because it's the content and the groupings and the functionality that are most important. And this looks the way it does, again, because it's copied and pasted from the Excel files we've been using to manage this information manually. And this is the banner section at the top. Items are grouped, as I said, by intended use as well as by installation area within the store. And this is the item group heading for a section, in this case banners. And these are the item subgroup headings. In this section, in this case, promo banner and lease line banners. Production specs are also included for most items. These lines of text are the specs, which include materials and inks, finishing, size, and any miscellaneous notes. And this is the demand bridge item code. This is the quantity of each item ordered for this individual project, plus the total of each item in each subgroup. There are many groups and subgroups of items. Some groups of items may be approved and ready for production before others. And we want to know if any group of items are approved, even though the entire kit sheet may not be approved yet. We need to tabulate the quantities of all approved items across all open projects to get quotes and then place orders as soon as possible, instead of having to wait for the entire kit to be approved before initiating production. And this is why it would be very helpful if the client had a way to approve individual item groups by maybe selecting a checkbox or something like this. Because every single store in the chain is different, it's a virtual certainty the first draft of a kit sheet will not be 100% correct and will need to be edited. Including a link to something like this would be a way to unlock the item group, and that would be just one idea for how to make the sheet editable. It's very important that somewhere in this thing there is a timestamp record by user, which creates a permanent history of what edits were made by whom and when. The edit history will illustrate patterns of behavior clients can then use to manage by the numbers and influence positive change within other internal departments on whose input they may rely to convey accurate and timely information. Because of this, it's also important the combined list of edits be exportable to Excel. And this, again, is a top form item code. And as mentioned earlier, each demand bridge item code is a link to additional information and images. And this is an individual item page. It's an example of the information and images available on an individual item page. And it includes two images, just basic low-res thumbnail and a click here for larger image, as well as basic demand bridge data, plus any additional notes from the kit sheet. We have a key feature that's needed. Some of us are almost entirely visual when it comes to reviewing and understanding the details, and being able to print most all sections, including but not limited to the individual item pages and item groups, and an entire kit sheet will be, in the immortal words of our fearless leader Frank Paschal, huge. And that was a kit sheet, which, remember, is where a list of items needed for an individual store is built. Next, we'll review 6 additional information management tools which can be accessed via links back on the main dashboard page.